Approximately 6 million years ago, in the heart of Africa, a lineage of primates began to diverge from their common ancestors, setting in motion the story that would lead to modern humans. This split marked the beginning of the hominin family, a group that would evolve to include several species, each adapting uniquely to their environment and carrying forward key traits. Among the earliest known hominins were Australopithecus, a genus that lived around 4 million years ago. Australopithecus stood on two legs, a significant evolutionary adaptation that freed their hands for tool use and other tasks, providing them with a distinct survival advantage. As time passed, several hominin species emerged, each with unique characteristics. Homo habilis, one of the earliest members of the genus Homo, lived approximately 2.4 million years ago, and is believed to have been the first hominin to create and use stone tools. Simple as they were, these tools, sharp flakes and hand axes, signified a major leap forward in our ancestors' ability to manipulate their environment. Tool use allowed Homo habilis to access new food sources, including meat, which provided the necessary nutrients for brain growth, furthering cognitive development. As the climate shifted and forests gave way to open savannas, the physical and mental adaptations of early hominins positioned them to survive and thrive in changing landscapes. Homo erectus emerged around 1.9 million years ago, and was one of the first hominins to display more advanced behaviors, including the possible use of fire. Homo erectus's larger brain, longer legs, and ability to walk and run long distances enabled this species to spread beyond Africa, reaching parts of Asia and Europe. The journey toward modern humans involved a complex network of evolutionary branches, some of which persisted and intermingled, while others faded. By 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had appeared in Africa. They shared the planet with other hominins, including Neanderthals in Europe and Denisovans in Asia. Homo sapiens, with their advanced cognitive abilities and capacity for cultural development, would eventually become the sole surviving hominin species, setting the stage for the next chapter in the journey of humankind. Chapter 1. The Rise of Homo sapiens. Around 300,000 years ago, a new species emerged in Africa that would come to define the future of our planet, Homo sapiens. Unlike earlier hominins, Homo sapiens possessed a unique blend of physical, cognitive, and social traits that set them apart. Their anatomy was distinctly modern, with a lighter build compared to Neanderthals, a large brain relative to body size, and the distinctive flat, vertical forehead that characterizes modern humans. These traits would prove essential as Homo sapiens began to explore, adapt, and ultimately dominate diverse environments. The cognitive capabilities of Homo sapiens marked a turning point in evolutionary history. While previous hominins, such as Homo erectus, had used tools and fire, Homo sapiens took these abilities to new levels. They crafted specialized tools, developed sophisticated hunting techniques, and learned to utilize a wider range of resources. Perhaps most importantly, Homo sapiens developed complex language, a remarkable leap that allowed them to communicate abstract ideas, share knowledge, and collaborate in ways no species had before. Language became a powerful tool, enabling Homo sapiens to build social networks, organize groups, and pass down cultural knowledge from one generation to the next. The social structures of early Homo sapiens were also more intricate than those of their ancestors. They lived in bands and tribes, developing cooperative strategies for hunting and survival. These groups shared food, protected each other from predators, and worked together to raise their young. The ability to forge bonds within and between groups allowed Homo sapiens to form larger and more stable social units. Over time, they developed rituals, art, and spiritual beliefs, which helped bind communities together and establish a sense of identity and shared purpose. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens experienced what scientists call the cognitive revolution, a period in which they made significant advances in thinking and behavior. During this time, Homo sapiens began to create symbolic art and figurines. Cave paintings in places like Lascaux, France, and Chauvet, France, depict scenes of hunting and animals, illustrating not only the creative capacity of early humans, but also their deep connection to the natural world. The emergence of art, rituals, and early belief systems suggests that Homo sapiens had developed a sense of identity and a curiosity about the world that extended beyond immediate survival needs. With these newfound abilities, Homo sapiens became incredibly adaptable, able to survive in nearly any environment they encountered. By around 60,000 years ago, they began to migrate out of Africa, spreading across Europe, Asia, and eventually reaching Australia and the Americas. During this journey, Homo sapiens encountered other hominin species, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. Archaeological evidence suggests that these encounters sometimes involved interbreeding, contributing to the genetic diversity we see in modern humans today. Neanderthal DNA, for example, is still present in the genomes of many non-African populations, indicating that Homo sapiens' interactions with other hominins left a lasting legacy. The combination of physical adaptability, advanced cognitive skills, and social complexity allowed Homo sapiens to overcome environmental challenges, form strong social bonds, and continually innovate. The rise of Homo sapiens marked the beginning of a new era in the history of life on Earth, one characterized by creativity, resilience, and the ability to reshape the environment. With a growing population and a presence on multiple continents, Homo sapiens were poised to transform the world in ways that would alter the course of history forever. Chapter 2: The Cognitive Revolution. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens underwent a transformative period known as the Cognitive Revolution. This pivotal era marked a dramatic change in how humans thought, communicated, and interacted with their environment and each other. It was during this time that Homo sapiens developed the ability to think abstractly, imagine possibilities beyond immediate reality, and create complex social structures. The cognitive revolution fundamentally changed the way humans approached the world and laid the foundation for the advancements that would follow. The most profound development during this period was the emergence of complex language. Although earlier hominins could communicate basic information, Homo sapiens' advanced language skills enabled them to share detailed information, tell stories, and convey abstract ideas. Language allowed individuals to discuss things that were not present, recall events from the past, and imagine potential futures. This ability to share thoughts and ideas in intricate ways helped humans form larger, more cohesive groups and develop shared beliefs. Language provided a powerful tool for organizing, learning, and preserving knowledge across generations. With these new cognitive abilities, Homo sapiens began creating myths and stories, which bound them together in ways that went beyond family and kinship. These myths provided a shared sense of identity and purpose, allowing humans to collaborate on a larger scale than ever before. Shared beliefs allowed people to see themselves as part of something greater, whether it was a clan, a tribe, or a spiritual belief system. This cultural cohesion gave Homo sapiens an advantage over other species, enabling them to work together in large numbers and create complex social systems. The cognitive revolution also led to the development of symbolic art and early forms of religion. In caves across Europe, Africa, and Asia, humans painted intricate scenes of animals, hunting expeditions, and possibly even religious symbols. These images were not mere decorations. They likely served as expressions of cultural identity and as ways to connect with the natural and spiritual world. Archaeologists have discovered carved figurines, like the Venus of Willendorf, dating back to around 30,000 years ago, which suggest that humans had begun to contemplate beauty, fertility, and perhaps even divinity. This newfound creativity was more than a pastime. It was a way for early humans to understand and interact with the world. The cognitive revolution also saw humans develop an early form of science through observation and experimentation. Early Homo sapiens had an understanding of the plants, animals, and materials in their environment, and they began experimenting with ways to improve their tools, shelters, and methods of survival. They learned which plants were edible, which could be used as medicine, and which were dangerous. This practical knowledge was passed down through generations, building a collective wisdom that improved their chances of survival and fostered a deeper understanding of their surroundings. One of the most significant changes during this time was the development of trade. As Homo sapiens groups began to spread out and encounter others, they traded tools, resources, and knowledge. This exchange allowed ideas to travel across vast distances, leading to cultural diffusion and innovation. Trade fostered cooperation between groups, creating a web of interconnected societies. This cooperation contributed to humans' adaptability, as they could share survival techniques, tools, and even new methods for food production. Through the cognitive revolution, Homo sapiens began to shape their environment in unprecedented ways. The capacity to think symbolically, share complex ideas, and build shared cultural practices gave them a unique advantage in adapting to diverse landscapes. These new cognitive abilities not only enhanced their survival, but also enabled them to establish communities, build cultural traditions, and envision a future beyond mere survival. With the cognitive revolution, Homo sapiens set themselves apart as a species that could innovate, collaborate, and reshape the world. By the end of this period, Homo sapiens were no longer just another species of hominin. They had become a cultural force, capable of altering their environment, organizing large groups of people, and building the foundations of what would one day become civilization. The cognitive revolution marked the beginning of a journey that would see humans spread across the globe, build societies, and eventually shape the planet in ways no other species had before. Chapter 3: Global Migration and Adaptation. With their newly developed cognitive skills and social structures, Homo sapiens were well equipped to explore and adapt to new environments. Around 60,000 years ago, humans began a migration out of Africa that would lead them to every corner of the earth. This journey was one of the most ambitious undertakings in human history, spanning thousands of years and covering continents. Homo sapiens' ability to adapt to diverse climates, ecosystems, and challenges allowed them to spread further than any hominin species before them. As they left Africa, these early humans encountered vastly different landscapes and climates, from the humid jungles of Southeast Asia to the frigid tundras of Europe and Siberia. They traveled in small groups, each adapting to the unique conditions of the regions they entered. In colder areas, humans learned to use animal skins and fire to stay warm, while in tropical climates, they built lightweight shelters and developed hunting strategies suited to their surroundings. This adaptability was a testament to the flexibility of Homo sapiens, who quickly learned to make the best use of the resources available to them. As Homo sapiens moved across Asia, they encountered Neanderthals in Europe and Denisovans in Asia, both of whom had already adapted to these regions. Unlike previous species, Homo sapiens didn't just avoid or compete with these other hominins. They sometimes interbred with them, creating genetic connections that survive in modern humans. Today, people of European and Asian descent still carry traces of Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA, a reminder of these ancient encounters. This genetic mixing likely introduced beneficial traits, such as adaptations to cold climates and disease resistance, which helped Homo sapiens thrive in new environments. By about 45,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had reached Europe, where they adapted to the cold, harsh climates alongside the Neanderthals. They brought with them advanced tools, including finely crafted spear points, sewing needles, and possibly even early forms of clothing. Archaeological evidence shows that Homo sapiens in Europe developed hunting techniques to target large Ice Age animals, like mammoths, reindeer, and bison. They used their cognitive abilities to strategize hunts and work together, increasing their chances of survival. The journey continued eastward, with Homo sapiens reaching Australia by around 50,000 years ago. This migration required them to cross large bodies of water, indicating that early humans had developed basic boat-building skills and navigation techniques. In Australia, humans encountered a unique ecosystem filled with unfamiliar species, including giant marsupials and enormous reptiles. They adapted their hunting and gathering techniques to suit the Australian landscape, which involved wide-open plains, deserts, and dense forests. The successful migration to Australia marked an incredible achievement in human exploration, as it represented one of the earliest examples of humans crossing oceans. By 15,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had crossed into the Americas, likely via a land bridge that connected Siberia and Alaska during the last ice age. This new land presented an array of ecosystems, from the Arctic tundra of the north to the tropical jungles and vast plains farther south. Humans adapted to these diverse environments, hunting animals like mammoths, bison, and elk, and eventually developing agricultural practices in regions with fertile land. The Americas would become home to a range of cultures and societies, each uniquely adapted to the land. Throughout these migrations, Homo sapiens continued to adapt and innovate. They developed tools and technologies suited to each environment they encountered, from fish hooks and harpoons in coastal regions to stone-tipped spears in hunting areas. These innovations allowed humans to exploit new food sources, enhancing their ability to survive in various climates. They also developed language and cultural practices that helped bond groups together, preserving knowledge and passing down survival techniques to new generations. As Homo sapiens spread, they transformed their surroundings. They used fire to clear forests and grasslands for hunting, encouraging the growth of certain plants and animals that suited their needs. This use of fire as an environmental tool represents one of the earliest forms of ecological management, as humans began to shape the landscape around them to their advantage. The knowledge of plants, animals, and local resources became central to each group's survival, leading to a deep connection between humans and their environments. By the end of this period, Homo sapiens had achieved a global presence, adapting to nearly every environment on Earth. They had survived ice ages, crossed oceans, and navigated harsh terrains, all while developing cultures, languages, and traditions that reflected their unique experiences. These early migrations laid the foundation for the diverse human societies that would emerge in the millennia to come. Homo sapiens' adaptability, resourcefulness, and resilience allowed them to overcome obstacles and establish themselves as a dominant force on the planet. The successful migration of Homo sapiens across the globe was a milestone in human history. It demonstrated not only the physical and mental capabilities of our species, but also the strength of social bonds and the power of collective knowledge. These early journeys of exploration and adaptation set the stage for the complex societies and civilizations that would eventually arise, marking the beginning of humanity's impact on the world. Chapter 4: The Agricultural Revolution. Around 10,000 years ago, a major transformation occurred in human society, the Agricultural Revolution. This shift from hunting and gathering to settled farming changed the course of human history, creating the foundation for complex societies and civilizations. The Agricultural Revolution began in the Fertile Crescent, a region in the Middle East that spans modern-day Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan. This area, with its rich soil and favorable climate, provided the ideal conditions for humans to experiment with planting and harvesting crops. The domestication of plants was a gradual process, likely beginning with the cultivation of wild grasses like wheat and barley. Early farmers observed the growth cycles of these plants, noting that seeds collected and replanted in the same area produced more reliable food sources. Over generations, they selected and bred plants with desirable traits, such as larger seeds and faster growth, resulting in the domesticated crops we know today. This steady food supply allowed humans to settle in one place, leading to the establishment of the first farming communities. The Agricultural Revolution didn't just involve plants. Humans also began domesticating animals. They bred animals such as goats, sheep, cattle, and pigs, using them for meat, milk, and wool. These animals provided a consistent source of food and materials, further enhancing the stability of early farming communities. In time, animals like oxen were also trained to assist in plowing fields, increasing agricultural productivity. This partnership between humans and domesticated animals marked a fundamental shift in human ecology, as people began to shape and control their environment on an unprecedented scale. The rise of agriculture brought significant social changes. With a stable food supply, human populations grew, leading to the development of larger, more permanent settlements. Unlike the small, mobile groups of hunter-gatherers, these farming communities could support hundreds or even thousands of people. As settlements expanded, people began to specialize in different roles. Some focused on farming, while others became toolmakers, potters, weavers, or builders. This specialization led to a more complex social structure, with different members of the community contributing in various ways. Alongside these changes, early farming communities developed new forms of organization and governance. Leaders emerged to oversee the distribution of resources, manage disputes, and organize labor. The concept of property ownership became more pronounced, as individuals or families claimed rights to specific plots of land. This early form of governance and property ownership laid the groundwork for the social hierarchies and political systems that would later characterize complex civilizations. The agricultural revolution also led to advances in technology and infrastructure. Early farmers developed tools like plows, sickles, and grinding stones to make farming more efficient. They constructed storage facilities to protect their surplus harvests, enabling them to build up food reserves for times of scarcity. Over time, they built more durable homes from materials like mud, clay, and stone, which provided better protection from the elements and symbolized their more permanent connection to the land. However, the transition to agriculture brought new challenges. Farming communities faced greater risks from famine and disease than their hunter-gatherer counterparts. If a harvest failed due to drought, pests, or disease, the entire community's survival could be at risk. Additionally, living in close quarters with domesticated animals and in larger populations increased the spread of infectious diseases. Despite these risks, the benefits of a stable food supply, larger populations, and complex societies outweighed the drawbacks, allowing agriculture to spread and thrive. As agriculture spread beyond the Fertile Crescent, different regions began to develop their own staple crops. In East Asia, rice and millet became central to agriculture. In the Americas, maize, potatoes, and beans were cultivated, and in Africa, sorghum, yams, and millet were key crops. This regional diversity in agriculture contributed to the distinct cultural and social characteristics of early civilizations, as communities adapted their farming practices to local climates, soils, and available resources. The agricultural revolution had far-reaching effects on humanity. It laid the foundation for cities, organized religion, social hierarchies, and trade networks. With agriculture, humans transitioned from living at the mercy of nature's cycles to controlling and reshaping their environment. This newfound ability to produce surplus food enabled some people to focus on non-agricultural activities, leading to the creation of art, craftsmanship, and early forms of writing. By cultivating the land and forming permanent settlements, humans began to shape landscapes, ecosystems, and societies on an unprecedented scale. The rise of agriculture marked a turning point in human history. It transformed how humans lived, worked, and interacted, setting the stage for the rise of the first great civilizations. The agricultural revolution was the foundation upon which all subsequent human achievements would be built, making it one of the most pivotal moments in the journey of humankind. Chapter 5. The Formation of Complex Societies. As the agricultural revolution took hold, the stability and surplus it provided set the stage for a new era in human development, the formation of complex societies. With more reliable food sources, human populations expanded, and communities grew from small farming villages to larger settlements. These burgeoning communities required new forms of social organization, governance, and cooperation, laying the foundation for the first cities and early civilizations. Around 5,000 years ago, in regions like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, humans began to cluster in larger communities along river systems. Rivers like the Tigris and Euphrates, Nile and Indus provided fresh water, fertile soil, and access to trade routes, making them ideal for agriculture and settlement. The regular flooding of these rivers enriched the surrounding lands, allowing farmers to produce surpluses of crops. This agricultural abundance supported larger populations and allowed societies to engage in activities beyond mere survival, such as trade, artistry, and religious ceremonies. The increase in population and complexity brought with it new challenges. Large settlements required coordination and governance to manage resources, organize labor, and maintain social order. Leaders and ruling classes emerged, often claiming divine or ancestral authority to oversee these functions. They organized and regulated activities such as farming, trade, and irrigation projects, which were essential to sustaining the growing populations. In Mesopotamia, for example, the construction and maintenance of canals and levees for irrigation required cooperative labor and organization, leading to the establishment of local authorities and councils. As societies grew, they developed systems of social hierarchy to manage labor and resources effectively. People began to specialize in different roles. Some became farmers, while others worked as artisans, priests, soldiers, or traders. This specialization led to the creation of a social structure with defined roles and classes. In early Mesopotamian and Egyptian societies, for example, the ruling elite, often seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people, held the most power, followed by priests, artisans, and farmers, with enslaved individuals occupying the lowest status. The surplus generated by agriculture enabled early societies to support craftspeople and artisans, who created goods and art that reflected and reinforced the culture and beliefs of their communities. Pottery, jewelry, textiles, and tools became more sophisticated, demonstrating a society's wealth and artistic abilities. Artisans developed skills to work with metals like bronze, copper, and gold, ushering in the Bronze Age and creating more durable tools, weapons, and decorative items. The production of these goods also contributed to early trade, as societies exchanged surplus crops and crafted goods with neighboring communities. One of the most significant developments of these early societies was the invention of writing. Writing systems emerged independently in several regions, such as cuneiform in Mesopotamia, hieroglyphics in Egypt, and early forms of script in the Indus Valley. These early writing systems allowed societies to record agricultural production, trade transactions, and laws, transforming governance and economic management. Written records helped rulers keep track of resources, communicate across distances, and maintain control over vast territories. They also preserved knowledge, allowing societies to transmit information across generations. The establishment of law codes was another crucial advancement, providing a framework for social order and justice. One of the earliest known law codes, the Code of Hammurabi in Babylon, set out rules and punishments that governed various aspects of life, from property rights to interpersonal conduct. These laws not only maintained order within the growing populations, but also served to legitimize the authority of rulers and codify social norms. The concept of justice became integral to these societies, symbolizing the ruler's duty to maintain harmony and protect their people. Religion also played a central role in the formation of complex societies. Organized belief systems and ritual practices provided a sense of unity, identity, and purpose within communities. Temples and monumental structures, such as the ziggurats of Mesopotamia and the pyramids of Egypt, were constructed to honor gods and leaders, demonstrating society's devotion and consolidating the power of the ruling class. Priests and religious leaders held significant influence, overseeing rituals, interpreting divine will, and advising rulers on governance. These religious structures and beliefs were often intertwined with governance, establishing rulers as divine or semi-divine figures with authority granted by the gods. Trade networks expanded as societies grew, connecting regions and fostering cultural exchange. Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley exchanged goods such as precious stones, metals, spices, and textiles, spreading ideas, technologies, and cultural practices across great distances. Trade helped disseminate advancements, such as bronzeworking and agricultural techniques, and contributed to the cultural diversity of early civilizations. These interactions also laid the foundation for diplomatic relationships, as societies began to view their neighbors as both trading partners and potential allies or rivals. The formation of complex societies marked a turning point in human history, setting the stage for the rise of empires and civilizations that would shape the world. The innovations in agriculture, governance, trade, and religion established the social and cultural frameworks that underpinned human development for millennia. By establishing these structures, early civilizations were able to survive, thrive, and influence each other, creating a network of interconnected societies that laid the groundwork for the complex, globalized world we inhabit today. These early complex societies not only represent the ingenuity and adaptability of Homo sapiens, but also highlight the human capacity for cooperation, organization, and cultural development. The rise of cities, laws, writing, and religious institutions reflects a society that had moved far beyond mere survival, creating a world defined by shared beliefs, mutual interdependence, and collective achievements. The foundation laid by these early civilizations would continue to influence the development of human societies and the trajectory of history for thousands of years. Chapter 6: The Spread of Religion and Empire. As early societies grew and evolved, they laid the foundations for religion and empire, two powerful forces that would shape human history across centuries. The spread of organized religions provided shared beliefs and moral frameworks that united people across vast regions, while the formation of empires consolidated power and resources, allowing rulers to expand their influence and cultural ideals. Together, religion and empire transformed human societies, fostering cooperation on an unprecedented scale and creating interconnected civilizations. Around 3,000 years ago, the first organized religions began to take root in societies across the globe. In Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, people worshipped gods who represented natural forces and cosmic order. In these early belief systems, religion was often polytheistic, with gods associated with elements like the sun, rain, fertility, and the harvest. Rulers, such as the Egyptian pharaohs, often claimed divine authority, presenting themselves as intermediaries between the gods and their people. By linking their rule to divine favor, these leaders solidified their power and legitimized their governance, creating a blend of religion and politics that would become a common theme in ancient empires. Religion served not only as a system of beliefs, but also as a moral code and guide for behavior. Religious texts, rituals, and commandments outlined expectations for individuals and communities, offering a shared understanding of right and wrong. These early moral frameworks promoted values like honesty, loyalty, and respect for authority, helping to maintain social cohesion and order. In ancient Mesopotamia, the priesthood played a central role in society, managing temples, conducting rituals, and advising leaders. Temples became centers of both religious and economic activity, as they often managed land, collected taxes, and redistributed resources. The consolidation of power in the hands of rulers and priesthoods paved the way for the rise of empires. An empire is defined as a large political unit, often ruled by a single authority that controls multiple territories and diverse peoples. One of the earliest empires was the Akkadian Empire, founded by Sargon of Akkad around 2300 BCE in Mesopotamia. Sargon's military conquests united numerous city-states under a central authority, creating a new model of governance that allowed him to control vast lands and resources. His empire, though short-lived, demonstrated the potential of centralized rule to unify people and expand influence across distant regions. Following the Akkadian Empire, other powerful empires emerged, each adopting and refining methods of administration, military organization, and cultural integration. In the Middle East, the Assyrian Empire became a dominant force through its use of advanced military tactics, including iron weaponry and chariots, and a system of roads that facilitated communication across its territory. The Assyrians employed tactics of intimidation and deportation to maintain control, reshaping the populations of conquered regions and enforcing loyalty to the central authority. While their methods were often brutal, the Assyrian Empire established an efficient administrative system that influenced future empires. The Persian Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BCE, marked a shift toward more tolerant and inclusive governance. Cyrus allowed conquered peoples to retain their customs, languages, and religions, fostering loyalty and cooperation across his empire. This approach of cultural respect and integration, known as imperial tolerance, became a hallmark of Persian rule and helped maintain stability across the vast territory, which stretched from the Mediterranean to the Indus Valley. The Persians also developed a sophisticated bureaucracy, dividing the empire into provinces overseen by local governors, or satraps, who reported to the central government. This system allowed the empire to manage diverse populations while maintaining centralized control. Religion played a vital role in uniting people within these empires. In Persia, the rise of Zoroastrianism promoted a belief in a cosmic struggle between good and evil, encouraging moral behavior and loyalty to the empire's ruler, who was seen as a champion of righteousness. In India, Hinduism and later Buddhism emerged as influential religious traditions that shaped social structures, cultural practices, and philosophical thought. Hinduism emphasized a caste system, defining individuals' roles and duties within society, while Buddhism spread teachings of compassion, mindfulness, and the path to enlightenment, transcending social divisions. In the Mediterranean, Judaism introduced the concept of monotheism, the belief in a single, all-powerful deity, marking a departure from the polytheistic traditions of neighboring civilizations. The Hebrews, or Israelites, believed in a covenant between their people and their God, Yahweh, who promised protection and prosperity in exchange for adherence to moral laws. This belief in a single, omnipotent deity and a structured moral code influenced future religious developments and provided a strong sense of identity and unity among the Hebrew people. As empires expanded, so too did the networks of trade and cultural exchange. The Silk Road, an ancient trade route that connected the East and West, facilitated the movement of goods, people, and ideas. Merchants, scholars, and religious leaders traveled along these routes, spreading philosophies, technologies, and religious beliefs across continents. This exchange allowed societies to adopt foreign innovations, such as agricultural practices, weaponry, and art, while spreading their own cultural and religious traditions. The exchange of ideas helped to bridge cultural divides, fostering understanding and cooperation between distant civilizations. Through conquest, trade, and cultural exchange, religion and empire became powerful forces that united vast populations under shared beliefs and systems of governance. This interconnected world fostered the spread of knowledge, art, and philosophy, building a foundation for the achievements of future civilizations. Empires like the Persian, Roman, and Maurya extended their reach through inclusive policies, sophisticated administration, and respect for local customs, demonstrating that strength and unity could be achieved through a balance of power and tolerance. The spread of religion and the rise of empires fundamentally changed the nature of human societies. For the first time, people were bound together not only by kinship and proximity, but by shared values, laws, and religious beliefs that transcended cultural boundaries. These forces transformed isolated communities into interconnected civilizations, creating a complex, dynamic world that would continue to evolve over millennia. The legacy of religion and empire can be seen in the modern world's diverse cultures, languages, and belief systems, reflecting the lasting impact of these early innovations in human organization and identity. Chapter 7. The Scientific Revolution. The scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries was a transformative period in human history, marking the beginning of a new approach to understanding the natural world. Prior to this era, knowledge was largely based on religious doctrine, traditional beliefs, and the teachings of ancient scholars like Aristotle and Ptolemy. However, the scientific revolution introduced a reliance on observation, experimentation, and reason, creating a foundation for modern science that would shape humanity's view of the universe and its place within it. The seeds of the scientific revolution were sown in Renaissance Europe, a period of cultural revival and intellectual exploration. During this time, scholars began to question established ideas and seek out new sources of knowledge. The rediscovery of classical texts from ancient Greece and Rome, along with advancements in mathematics and engineering, created a fertile ground for scientific inquiry. Additionally, the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in the 15th century allowed information to spread rapidly, making scientific ideas accessible to a broader audience. One of the first major breakthroughs of the scientific revolution came in the field of astronomy. The traditional view of the universe, known as the geocentric model, held that Earth was the center of the universe, with the sun, planets, and stars revolving around it. This model, based on the teachings of Ptolemy, was widely accepted in Europe and endorsed by the Catholic Church. However, in 1543, Nicolaus Copernicus proposed a radical new idea. The heliocentric model, which placed the sun at the center of the universe, with Earth and the other planets orbiting it. Copernicus's heliocentric theory challenged the prevailing geocentric view and laid the foundation for future astronomical discoveries. Over the next century, other scientists, including Johannes Kepler and Galileo Galilei, built upon Copernicus's ideas, refining the heliocentric model and providing evidence to support it. Kepler discovered that planets move in elliptical orbits rather than perfect circles, and developed his 3 laws of planetary motion. These laws accurately described the movement of planets and demonstrated that celestial bodies followed consistent mathematical principles. Galileo made groundbreaking observations using a telescope, a recently developed instrument that allowed him to study the heavens in unprecedented detail. He observed mountains on the moon, the moons of Jupiter, and the phases of Venus, findings that provided direct evidence for the heliocentric model. Galileo's work sparked controversy, as it contradicted the teachings of the Catholic Church, which held that Earth was the center of the universe. In 1633, he was tried by the Inquisition and forced to recant his views, but his discoveries had already set in motion a shift in scientific thinking. The scientific revolution also saw significant advancements in physics, largely due to the work of Isaac Newton. In the late 17th century, Newton formulated the laws of motion and the law of universal gravitation, which described the forces that govern the motion of objects on Earth and in space. His work, published in Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica in 1687, established a new framework for understanding the physical world. Newton's laws provided a mathematical explanation for phenomena such as gravity, inertia, and acceleration, unifying celestial and terrestrial physics for the first time. His contributions solidified the shift toward a scientific worldview based on observation, measurement, and mathematical reasoning. Another key figure in the scientific revolution was Francis Bacon, who championed the empirical method, a systematic approach to scientific inquiry based on observation and experimentation. Bacon argued that knowledge should be built upon careful observation of the natural world, rather than on inherited beliefs or speculation. His ideas laid the groundwork for the scientific method, which became the standard approach for conducting scientific research. Bacon's emphasis on observation and experimentation influenced generations of scientists and remains a fundamental principle in modern science. The development of the scientific method was further refined by René Descartes, a philosopher and mathematician who emphasized the importance of doubt and systematic questioning. Descartes is best known for his statement, "Cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am, which reflects his belief in reason as the foundation of knowledge. He introduced Cartesian doubt, a process of questioning all assumptions and beliefs to arrive at certain knowledge. Descartes' approach to inquiry and his contributions to mathematics, including the development of analytical geometry, provided valuable tools for scientific research and reinforced the emphasis on rational thought. The scientific revolution also made strides in medicine and biology. Physicians like Andreas Vesalius advanced the understanding of human anatomy through detailed dissections, challenging long-standing misconceptions based on the works of Galen, an ancient Greek physician. Vesalius published De Humani Corporis Fabrica in 1543, an anatomical text that illustrated the human body in unprecedented detail. His work laid the foundation for modern anatomy and inspired future research in physiology and medicine. In addition to Vesalius, William Harvey made significant contributions to the understanding of the human body by discovering the circulatory system and demonstrating how blood is pumped by the heart and circulates through the body. His findings, published in De Motu Cordis in 1628, challenged traditional beliefs about the body's functioning and opened new avenues for medical science. The scientific revolution transformed not only how humans understood the natural world, but also how they perceived their place within it. By demonstrating that the universe operated according to consistent physical laws, scientists encouraged a worldview that emphasized rationality, observation, and progress. This shift had profound implications for philosophy, religion, and society, as people began to view the world through a lens of inquiry and skepticism, rather than relying solely on tradition and religious authority. The discoveries of the scientific revolution also laid the groundwork for the Industrial Revolution, as advancements in physics, mathematics, and chemistry would eventually be applied to technology and engineering. The scientific approach to problem-solving and innovation became central to human progress, spurring developments in fields as diverse as medicine, transportation, and agriculture. This legacy of the scientific revolution continues to shape the modern world, as science remains a driving force in technological advancement and our quest to understand the universe. The scientific revolution marked a profound turning point in human history, transforming knowledge, technology, and the human perspective. By challenging established beliefs and embracing a systematic approach to discovery, the thinkers of this period redefined humanity's relationship with the natural world and paved the way for centuries of scientific inquiry and innovation. This spirit of exploration and discovery became a defining feature of modern civilization, influencing every aspect of life and inspiring future generations to push the boundaries of knowledge. Chapter 8: The Industrial Revolution and Modern Era. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century, marked a monumental shift in human history, transforming society, economy, and technology in ways that were previously unimaginable. Originating in Great Britain and spreading across Europe and North America, the Industrial Revolution introduced mechanized production, mass manufacturing, and centralized industries, laying the foundation for the modern industrialized world. This era was characterized by technological advancements, urbanization, and unprecedented economic growth, setting the stage for the development of today's global society. One of the most significant innovations of the Industrial Revolution was the steam engine, perfected by James Watt in the 1770s. While earlier versions of the steam engine had existed, Watt's design improvements made it efficient enough to power factories, mills, and mines. The steam engine became the backbone of industrial machinery, enabling factories to produce goods at a scale and speed that hand labor could not match. This revolutionized industries such as textiles, which rapidly grew as mechanized spinning and weaving machines replaced traditional handcrafting. Textile production increased dramatically, making fabrics more affordable and accessible. The impact of the Industrial Revolution extended far beyond textiles. Innovations in iron smelting and coal mining fueled growth in other sectors, particularly metalworking, which allowed for the production of stronger machinery, tools, and building materials. The demand for coal and iron led to the expansion of mining industries, transforming regions into industrial hubs and creating thousands of new jobs. This development marked a shift from agrarian economies to industrial economies, where large-scale factories replaced rural farming as the primary source of employment. Transportation also underwent a radical transformation during the Industrial Revolution. The construction of railroads and canals allowed goods and raw materials to be transported over long distances quickly and efficiently. George Stephenson's development of the steam locomotive in the early 19th century revolutionized land travel, allowing people and goods to move across countries in a matter of hours instead of days. Railroads not only connected major cities, but also brought industrialization to remote areas, creating a network of trade and communication that spurred economic growth. In addition to railroads, steamboats made sea and river transport faster and more reliable, further supporting global trade. The Industrial Revolution brought about profound changes in urbanization. As factories and industries clustered in cities, people migrated from rural areas in search of work, leading to rapid population growth in urban centers. Cities like Manchester, Birmingham, and London in England became symbols of industrial progress, But they also faced new social challenges. Overcrowding, poor sanitation, and harsh working conditions became common as urban populations swelled. Factory workers often endured long hours, low wages, and unsafe environments, leading to social tensions and sparking calls for reform. The demands of industrial society also led to the development of new social and economic ideas. Capitalism, as advocated by thinkers like Adam Smith, emphasized free markets, competition, and private enterprise as the best means of driving economic growth. However, the unequal distribution of wealth and the exploitation of labor prompted critiques of capitalism. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels argued for a different system, socialism, which called for the redistribution of resources and the establishment of a classless society. These contrasting ideologies, capitalism and socialism, became influential forces that would shape politics and economics in the following centuries. The Industrial Revolution also had a significant impact on science and technology. As industry grew, so did the demand for new knowledge and inventions to solve practical problems. This period saw advancements in chemistry, biology, and engineering, leading to innovations that further fueled industrial growth. The development of electricity and telegraphy transformed communication and energy use, making it possible to transmit messages instantly over long distances and provide consistent power to factories and cities. By the late 19th century, inventors like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla were pioneering the use of electrical power, paving the way for the electrification of cities and industries. The effects of the Industrial Revolution were felt globally. As European powers industrialized, they expanded their influence through colonialism and imperialism, seeking raw materials and new markets for their manufactured goods. Colonies provided resources like cotton, rubber, and minerals that fueled industrial production. But this system came at a great cost to colonized populations. Indigenous people were often exploited, and their economies restructured to serve colonial interests, leading to long-lasting social, economic, and environmental impacts. This era of imperialism created complex global connections that continue to influence international relations today. The Industrial Revolution also brought about environmental consequences. The rise of factories, railroads, and urban centers led to increased pollution, deforestation, and the depletion of natural resources. The burning of coal, which powered steam engines and industrial machinery, released large amounts of smoke and soot into the air, contributing to poor air quality and health problems in industrial cities. Rivers and streams became polluted with industrial waste, impacting ecosystems and human health. Although these environmental costs were largely unaddressed at the time, they set the stage for future concerns about sustainability and environmental protection. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, the pace of technological and social change accelerated. The inventions and ideas born during the Industrial Revolution laid the groundwork for the modern era, ushering in an age of innovation, urbanization, and interconnectedness. Electricity, automobiles, airplanes, and later, computers and telecommunications transformed everyday life, making the world more accessible and connected than ever before. This era of progress also saw major advancements in medicine, sanitation, and public health, which contributed to longer life expectancies and improved quality of life. The Industrial Revolution transformed the structure of society, created modern economies, and revolutionized how people lived and worked. It brought both remarkable progress and significant challenges, many of which continue to resonate in today's world. The shift from agrarian to industrial society reshaped human culture, politics, and the environment, laying the foundation for the globalized, technologically advanced world we know today. Chapter 9: Humanity's Present and Future. As the 20th century progressed into the 21st, humanity entered an era of unprecedented technological advancement, interconnectedness, and global challenges. The achievements of the scientific and industrial revolutions had laid the groundwork for modern society, leading to innovations in technology, science, and medicine that reshaped human life. However, these advancements have brought new complexities, responsibilities, and questions about humanity's future direction and role in the world. The development of digital technology has defined much of the modern era. The invention of computers in the mid-20th century, followed by the rise of the Internet in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, has revolutionized communication, information sharing, and commerce. With the advent of smartphones, social media, and wireless technology, people across the globe can now communicate instantly, share information, and access vast stores of knowledge from nearly any location. The digital age has transformed industries, created new forms of employment, and facilitated a level of interconnectedness that previous generations could scarcely imagine. In addition to the digital revolution, the 20th century saw remarkable progress in medicine and public health. Advances in antibiotics, vaccines, and medical technology have extended life expectancies and improved quality of life worldwide. The eradication of diseases like smallpox, the development of life-saving surgeries, and the ability to treat chronic conditions have transformed healthcare, making it possible to prevent or manage illnesses that were once fatal. These advancements have contributed to population growth and urbanization, as people live longer, healthier lives, creating diverse and thriving communities. However, humanity's rapid progress has also introduced global challenges that require collective solutions. Climate change, driven by industrial activity, deforestation, and the burning of fossil fuels, is one of the most pressing issues of the modern era. Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, and more frequent natural disasters pose threats to ecosystems, biodiversity, and human societies. Scientists warn that without decisive action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect natural habitats, climate change could lead to severe consequences for future generations. This challenge has sparked international efforts, like the Paris Agreement, which aims to limit global warming and promote sustainable practices worldwide. The acceleration of technological advancement has also raised ethical and societal questions. Artificial intelligence, AI, biotechnology, and genetic engineering hold the potential to transform industries, healthcare, and even human abilities, but they also pose ethical dilemmas. AI, for example, could automate jobs, reshape economies, and alter human relationships with technology, leading to concerns about employment, privacy, and security. Similarly, advancements in genetic engineering have made it possible to alter the human genome, raising questions about the boundaries of scientific intervention and the potential for unintended consequences. The increasing interconnectedness of the world has led to both benefits and challenges. On one hand, globalization has facilitated trade, cultural exchange, and access to resources, enabling economies to grow and people to experience diverse cultures and perspectives. On the other hand, it has also created economic inequality, as wealth and opportunities are often concentrated in certain regions, leaving others vulnerable to poverty and exploitation. The need to balance economic growth with social equity and environmental sustainability has become a central focus of global discussions, as governments, organizations, and communities work to create more inclusive and resilient societies. Humanity's exploration of outer space has also continued to progress, with a renewed interest in returning to the Moon, exploring Mars, and studying distant planets and galaxies. The achievements of the space race in the 20th century laid the foundation for today's space exploration, with advancements in rocket technology, satellites, and space stations. In recent years, private companies have joined government agencies in developing new space missions, fostering a vision of human exploration and settlement beyond Earth. Space exploration holds promise for scientific discovery and technological innovation, but it also raises questions about resource allocation and the ethical considerations of potentially colonizing other planets. As humanity faces these challenges and opportunities, there has been a growing focus on sustainability and the need to protect Earth's resources for future generations. Efforts to develop renewable energy sources, reduce waste, and promote conservation have become central to addressing environmental concerns. Concepts like the circular economy, which aims to reduce waste by reusing and recycling resources, are gaining traction as people seek to create more sustainable systems. Additionally, social movements advocating for climate action, social justice, and ethical technology development are reshaping societal values, inspiring a sense of collective responsibility for the planet and its inhabitants. The future holds both uncertainty and potential. The rapid pace of change presents opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and human advancement, but it also requires careful consideration and ethical guidance. As societies navigate the complexities of climate change, technological progress, and global inequality, humanity's ability to cooperate and adapt will be essential. The choices made today will shape the future of the planet, influencing not only the health and well-being of future generations, but also the very fabric of human civilization. In this new era, humanity stands at a crossroads, with the potential to address global challenges, protect the environment, and create a more just and equitable world. The story of humankind, which began with survival and adaptation, has evolved into a journey of exploration, knowledge, and responsibility. The challenges and triumphs of the past have brought humanity to this moment, where the choices and actions of each generation contribute to the legacy that will define our place in history and our impact on the future. Humanity's journey is a testament to the resilience, creativity, and curiosity that have driven our species from the dawn of time. From early hominins adapting to their environment in Africa to Homo sapiens spreading across continents, building societies, and shaping the world, each step has added a chapter to the complex story of humankind. The agricultural revolution set the stage for the rise of civilizations, while the scientific revolution and industrial revolution accelerated progress, transforming knowledge, technology, and social organization in ways that would influence every aspect of life. In the modern era, humanity has reached remarkable heights, achieving feats once considered unimaginable, from exploring the depths of the ocean to setting foot on the moon. Our understanding of the world has expanded beyond Earth as we probe the mysteries of the universe and contemplate our place within it. Yet, with these advancements come profound responsibilities. The challenges of climate change, global inequality, and ethical considerations in technology underscore the importance of thoughtful action and cooperation in shaping a sustainable future. Today, humanity stands at a pivotal moment. The choices we make now will echo across generations, influencing the health of our planet, the stability of societies, and the future of human civilization. Our interconnected world reminds us that we share a common destiny, one that requires respect for our environment, empathy for one another, and a commitment to stewardship for future generations. The legacy we leave will reflect not only our achievements, but also our capacity for compassion, foresight, and unity. The story of humankind continues, shaped by each generation's discoveries, challenges, and aspirations. As we look to the future, we carry forward a legacy rooted in the ancient past, a journey of adaptation, exploration, and progress that defines what it means to be human. Our actions today hold the power to create a world that honors this legacy and paves the way for a future of hope, resilience, and shared purpose. And so, with curiosity as our guide and unity as our strength, we journey forward, ready to write the next chapter in the enduring story of humanity.